Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist are back with Alfredo II, the sequel to their modern classic. I've gone track by track through this project, grading verses, production, and highlighting some of the wildest bars.
I'm still gonna squeeze academics titties, that fat bastard. Gonna diss me and took a plea, he a rap bastard.
Let's break down why this album is one of the strongest releases of the year. Let's go.
I was in the cell making up a set list for my next show, for my next lick. I was suicidal with a death wish.
1995. Freddie Gibbs and The Alchemist kick off Alfredo II with 1995, a two-part clinic. Part 1 is straight chest stomping. Freddie talks his talk, flips lines like "we don't die, we multiply", and swats at the clones. Then the beat switches, Alchemist brings in a cold guitar loop and the whole mood deepens. Gibbs goes from flex to live talk, Gen Pop to Netflix, old hustles, new money, and why the rap beef circus is corny. It's sharp, it's mean, and it hits hard. The short film and the Japan vibe around his rollout tie right in, and the new 1995 video keeps that tone. Bottom line, Alchemist cooked, Gibbs is relentless, and part 2 cuts the deepest. If this is the opener, Alfredo II came to play.
Wrapping it up, stacking it up. If I see Buddy, I'm tapping them up. I'ma go shoot at that bitch if that nigga's about.
Mar-a-Lago. This one is different. The Alchemist sets a foggy, cinematic tone with those dialogue samples from the movie Baby Boy and the menacing boom-bap guitar loop. Freddie rides it with sleek confidence and effortless control. He snaps, but never sounds rushed. Some of the bars are wild too, like... This song really sets the tone for the rest of the album.
Being too extra, you need extra people. Your pockets ain't ready for what I can peep it. This rabbit the reaper, I seen out the creepers, you niggas.
Lemon Pepper Steppers. This one is pure energy. Freddie comes in sharp, aggressive, and the flow switches are crazy. Both verses hit with that raw intensity, and the chorus, perfect balance of gritty and catchy. The production slaps hard too, giving Freddie all the space to go off. Honestly, the energy here is unmatched. It feels like one of the hardest Freddie moments in the last few years.
Niggas on state team, give a white sheet, yellow tape dreams, tie a nigga up cause I don't chase dreams.
Ensalada. Hands down the best song on the album in my opinion. The Alchemist absolutely bodies the production here, laying down this eerie, cinematic beat that just sets the perfect atmosphere. Freddie steps in with two razor-sharp verses. His flow is airtight, his delivery cold, and every line lands heavy. Then Anderson .Paak comes through on the chorus and it's flawless. His voice cuts through all that grit, giving the track this haunting, almost spiritual lift. It balances Freddie's raw storytelling with just the right amount of soul. Everything about Ensalada just clicks. The verses, the hook, the beat, it's polished, it's emotional, and it feels larger than life. This is Gibbs and Alchemist at their absolute peak.
Put you in the system, ho, get a job with the government.
Empanadas. This one's got some slick bars, and Freddie's always entertaining with the storytelling, but honestly, it's the first track where I feel like he's not fully locked in with the beat. The Alchemist production is smooth as ever, but Gibbs sounds just a touch off in places. That said, the second half of the song really redeems it for me. The energy picks up, the delivery sharpens, and it lands stronger than it starts. Still a dope track overall, just not as flawless as the ones before it.
I know some niggas that'll do you if I do a song with them. Got my hoe up in the spot, I'm about to send her home.
Skinny Suge II, a sequel to their 2020 cut, and Freddie comes in with that raw menace. I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking. He leans heavy into the Skinny Suge persona, fearless, untouchable, but sharper and leaner than the Death Row namesake. The first verse sets the tone, but the second one is where it really catches fire. Freddie weaving survival, street clarity, and flexes into a grim but cinematic picture. Alchemist backs it up with one of those cold, gritty beats that feel tailor-made for Gibbs to talk his talk. The hook is solid, though not the strongest on the project, but it does its job as a grounding refrain between the heavy verses. Overall, it's a commanding track. Gibbs sounding larger than life, while Alchemist keeps the atmosphere tense and cinematic.
Go side view with a hoe like you. I don't need no daughter, fuck a hoe like you. I be standing on this pippin' like I always.
Feeling. Man, this is one of the smoothest cuts on the tape. The Alchemist laces it with this hypnotic piano loop that feels almost cinematic, and Freddie just glides over it. His vocals here are butter, easily one of the cleanest performances he's given so far. The hook is strong too, really catchy, fits the vibe perfectly. Verse 1, Freddie at his peak. Effortless, confident, floating through the pockets. Then we hit the Larry June verse, and honestly, it kind of breaks the momentum. Larry's laid-back style works in other settings, but here it just doesn't match the hypnotic, melodic energy Freddie set up. It feels like a mismatch, and instead of elevating the track, it drags it down. Thankfully, Freddie closes strong with verse 3. Playful, memorable, and it locks the song back into place. Overall though, it's Freddie and the production that really carried this one, and when they are in sync, it's a highlight on the project.
Rapping niggas working undercover. Rest in peace to Mac, I ain't lacking, I put that on my brother.
I still love her. This one really stood out to me. The Alchemist production is just majestic here. It's got that cinematic, almost regal quality, and Freddie takes full advantage. He's mixing in flexes, woman, and street reflection, but what really catches me are the little jabs and sharp shots sprinkled throughout. It's clever without breaking the overall vibe. The title itself is a nice note too, tying back to Common's I Used to Love Her, but also pulling from the Teriyaki Boys and that Japanese hip-hop connection. That really fits the Japanese aesthetic that's been put together in Alfredo II as a whole. As a track, it feels like a love letter to the culture and to his grind. Gritty but also reflective, almost poetic in a way. Freddie manages to be raw and aggressive while still letting the beat breathe, and that balance makes it one of the most beautiful tracks on the record so far.
Bitch, your heart was already broke, I picked it up off the floor, so I can't be responsible, this shit was optional, I was thinking.
Shangri-La. The Alchemist lays down this oozy, looping beat that feels almost divine, but Freddie flips it into his own kind of paradise, built on drugs, women, and violence. Freddie's verses move between raunchy storytelling, paranoia, and straight-up menace. Verse 2 especially stood out to me. He's juggling themes of love, trust, and betrayal, while still keeping it raw and unfiltered. The hook though feels more repetitive and not as strong compared to the verses. It gets the job done, but doesn't hit with the same weight. What's interesting is that these vocals were actually recycled later for Ye and Ty Dolla's so-called friends during the Vulture sessions. But honestly, the way it sits on this Alchemist loop just makes way more sense. Overall, I'd say it's a highlight for the production, and Freddie keeps it engaging with the lyrical swings between lust, paranoia, and cold-blooded grit.
Ego just went to the feds, I can't touch her back no more. Still crying tears over trail, I can't see Mac.
Gas Station Sushi. This is one of the moments where Alchemist just goes absolutely nuts on the boards. The production here feels heavenly, layered, almost cinematic. It's one of those beats that make you stop and rewind just to soak in all the little details. Freddie matches it with some of his sharpest writing on the project. Verse 1 in particular, that's the standout for me. He's reflecting on mortality, betrayal, prison time, systemic racism, but still flexing with that raw street energy. It's grim, heavy, and clever all at once. Verse 2 keeps the same intensity, leaning more into paranoia and survival, while verse 3 is shorter and more straightforward, but it ties the track off with confidence. The hook ties it together perfectly. Fell back but never fell down. Feels like both a flex and a mission statement, and it cuts through the beat like a mantra.
At me, they killed Nip, take off dog. I see the signs, D for the fame and the goddamn chain.
Lavish Habits. Alchemist lays down one of the best beats on the tape. That hypnotic guitar loop is just beautiful. Freddie comes in wild with those opening bars taking shots left and right, and it instantly grabs your attention. Past the shock value, there are real gems too, like when he reflects on the risk of being young, black and rich, tying it to the tragedies of Nip, Takeoff and Dolph. The verse balances outrageous flexes with sobering honesty, and it works. The hook keeps it simple but effective, and overall this track hits because of the hypnotic production and Freddie's mix of humor, rawness and reflection.
I'm in the wrist finna mix with a thick bitch, how about you? Say you wanna win, fuck nigga, but you really can't miss your win, or you gotta jump through.
Gold Feet. Alchemist keeps the streak alive. That loop is insane, smooth but knocking at the same time. Freddie kicks it off with pure charisma, mixing flexes, street talk and humor like only he can. 10G slides in and absolutely torches the track. His flow is razor sharp, packed with imagery and constant switches, and he makes it feel effortless. Easily one of the standout guest verses on the whole project. This one feels like a perfect matchup. Alchemist lacing a hypnotic beat, Gibbs setting the tone, and Jid stealing the show with a flawless performance.
Bitch, I'm from the crib, I'm reppin' that fin like I was cold hard. Or shut your mouth and let these lawyers talk and it'll be no.
Claude. Alchemist comes with a moody cinematic loop and Gibbs rides it with one extended verse. No hook heavy structure, just raps. He blends flexes with bitter reflection on the industry, slips in street wisdom and even fires subliminals at Benny. That sneak dicking line? Crazy. It's not the flashiest track here, but it feels raw and personal, like Gibbs is letting off steam over a foggy backdrop.
Today's my generation, keep game on 1,000 albums. I should go get me a flute and just disappear in the mountains.
1,000 Mountains. What a way to end it. Alchemist laces a gorgeous flute loop, calm but still grimy underneath. And Freddie just erupts. That Andre 3 Stacks bar, perfect timing with the background flute. And the line, I should go get me a flute and just disappear in the mountains, is just peak. Both verses are insane. Verse 1 is full of sharp flexes and bitter honesty. Verse 2 is pure intimidation, DJ Envy name drops, Mortal Kombat death threats, and still looping back to that mountain image. It feels like Gibbs wrapping up his legacy statement. 20 years in, still untouchable, still sharp, and reminding everyone he can go another 1,000 if he wants. And that wraps up Alfredo 2. Freddie Gibbs proves once again why he's one of the sharpest voices in rap right now, and The Alchemist's production is just flawless from start to finish. My overall rating for the album is a 9.35 out of 10, easily one of the best projects of the year. If you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more reviews, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.